You are not lazy. You definitely do not lack discipline. You are simply losing a war that you were never designed to win. You are trying to run high-performance software, your success mindset, on hardware that is sitting in a hostile environment. Think about this paradox. Why is it that you can walk into a noisy coffee shop and effortlessly grind out 4 hours of deep work? Yet, the moment you sit at your desk at home, in perfect silence, you can't focus for 15 minutes without unlocking your phone? It feels illogical. Level 3 is a weird biological, but it is biological. Here is the reality check. Willpower is just a backup battery. Your environment is the national power grid. If you rely on the backup battery to run your life, you are going to shut down. And right now, you are draining that battery to zero every single morning. We need to stop this immediately. And no, this video is not about tidying up or organizing your desk like a minimalist. That is surface-level advice. We are going deeper. We are talking about neuro-architecture. I am going to show you exactly how to hack your physical surroundings to hijack your brain's dopamine pathways. We are going to engineer your space so that high-level focus becomes your default setting, not a constant struggle. Stop fighting yourself. Let's build your cockpit. I am going to walk you through 3 levels of environmental design. Level 1 and 2 are about what you see, but Level 3 is a weird biological hack involving a sense you completely ignore. It is the only way to bypass your brain's logic filters instantly. So make sure you stick around for that. To understand why you struggle to focus, we first need to identify the invisible hand guiding your actions. In neuroscience, this is known as context-dependent memory. You need to realize that your brain is, at its core, a highly efficient pattern recognition machine. It is constantly scanning your environment and tagging every object and every space with a specific behavioral script. For years, your brain has wired specific associations. Your bed equals sleep or scrolling TikTok. The dining table equals eating. The couch equals Netflix. These are strong neural pathways. The problem arises when you try to overwrite these established scripts. When you bring your laptop into your bed to grind, you are creating what we call a signal conflict. Your brain is confused. It asks, are we sleeping, relaxing, or working? The biological result is a disaster. You feel groggy and unmotivated when you try to work. And then, ironically, you feel wide awake with racing thoughts when you finally try to sleep. You haven't just ruined your productivity. You've ruined your recovery. This power of the environment was famously demonstrated in a study at a hospital cafeteria. Researchers simply rearranged the room, placing water bottles in more visible locations without changing anything else. Sales of water skyrocketed and soda sales dropped. Nobody had more motivation to be healthy. The visual cues simply changed the decision for them. You have to respect that your visual cortex hogs a massive amount of your brain's processing bandwidth. If your phone is sitting on your desk, even if it is face down, even if it is on silent, your brain is actively burning glucose to inhibit the impulse to pick it up. We call this a cognitive leak. You are draining your energy bar just by having the distraction in your peripheral vision. You cannot fight millions of years of evolutionary wiring with simple willpower. You will lose that battle every single time. The only way to win is to stop fighting the urge and instead change the battlefield. We call this protocol friction engineering. So how do we actually engineer this? We do it by manipulating a variable I call activation energy. This brings us to the core protocol of this video: friction engineering. Step 1 is what I call high friction. We are going to weaponize your brain's natural laziness against your bad habits. There is a principle in behavioral psychology known as the 20-second rule. It states that if an action takes more than 20 seconds to initiate, the brain, which is an energy-conserving machine, will likely view it as too expensive and abandon the impulse. Right now, your bad habits have zero friction. Your phone is in your pocket. The remote is on the couch. The junk food is on the counter. The path of least resistance leads directly to failure. We need to blockade that path. I want you to be honest with me right now. Look at your phone usage stats. How many hours did you spend on screen time yesterday? Comment the number below. Don't be ashamed, just own it. Let's see who is brave enough to face the data. Now, let's look at that phone. In the previous video, we talked about the detox, but for daily life, simply turning it over is not enough. You need to increase the physical distance. Charge it in another room. If you have to stand up, walk down the hall, and open a door just to check a notification, you have added enough friction to break the dopamine loop. Take your TV or your gaming console. If you are struggling with binge watching, do not just turn it off. Unplug the power cord from the wall. Take the batteries out of the remote and put them in a drawer in the kitchen. It sounds extreme, but think about the biology. When you flop onto the couch tired after work, the urge to watch TV is impulsive. But if you have to get up, find the batteries, put them in, and plug the TV in, that impulse dies. You have made the distraction physically painful and annoying to execute. The same applies to your diet. If cookies are in a clear jar on the counter, you will eat them. Put them in an opaque container on the highest shelf in your pantry. Force yourself to get a step stool to reach them. Make the bad habit expensive for your brain. Now, step 2 is the inverse. Zero friction. We want to pave a superhighway for your success mindset. Most people fail to build good habits because they rely on motivation to get started. But motivation is unreliable. We need to reduce the activation energy for good habits to zero, so that doing the right thing becomes easier than doing the wrong thing. Let's apply this to the biohacking protocols we discussed earlier in this series. Remember the hydration hack from video 4? If you wake up dehydrated and have to walk to the kitchen, find a glass, and fill it. You might just grab your phone instead. Zero friction means placing a full bottle of water with electrolytes on your nightstand before you sleep. You wake up, you drink. No decision required. If you want to read more, do not leave the book on a bookshelf. Place it on your pillow. Open it to the exact page you intend to read. When you walk into your bedroom, the visual cue is screaming at you, and the friction to start is zero. You just pick it up and read. If you want to work out in the morning, do not wait until you wake up to find your socks. Lay out your gym clothes, your shoes, and your headphones right next to your bed the night before. The science behind this is about avoiding decision fatigue. Your willpower is a limited resource that drains throughout the day. In the morning, or when you are tired, your executive function is weak. If you force your brain to make a decision, should I work out? Where are my shoes? You are spending expensive cognitive energy. By preparing the environment the night before, you are outsourcing that decision. You are letting your past self guide your future self. You don't decide, you just execute. Now, step 3. I have to warn you. This is the filter. This is the exact point where 99% of people will say, "That's too extreme," and click away. They are content with being average. But since you are still here, I assume you are chasing the top 1%. So, if you are ready to operate at an elite level, welcome to the Cockpit Strategy. It is based on the principle of spatial segregation. Imagine a pilot in a fighter jet. When they sit in that cockpit, do they check Instagram? Do they eat a sandwich? Do they watch a movie? No. They fly the jet. That specific environment is wired for one specific purpose: survival and performance. You need to treat your desk like a cockpit. The biggest mistake people make is mixing contexts. You sit at your desk to work, but you also eat lunch there. You scroll social media there, and maybe you watch YouTube there. You have polluted the environment. Your brain now associates that chair with distraction, not production. Here is the extreme rule for this week. You are only allowed to do deep work at your desk. If you feel the urge to scroll on your phone, you must physically stand up and leave the desk. Go to the couch. Go to the kitchen. But never scroll in the cockpit. If you want to eat, go to the dining table. This requires discipline for the first few days, but the neurological payoff is massive. After about a week of strict spatial segregation, your brain forms a powerful neuroassociation. It learns that butt in chair equals deep focus. The moment you sit down, your brain will automatically switch gears. You won't need 20 minutes to warm up or find the right song. You will enter a flow state almost instantly because you have eliminated the environmental confusion. You are no longer fighting the space. The space is triggering the performance. Most people stop at visual cues. They clean their desk and think they are done. But true biohackers know that your brain processes information through multiple channels. To truly hack your environment, we need to move beyond what you see and exploit what you smell. This is a concept I call sensory gating. Let's talk about the focus scent. This is the most underrated hack in the productivity world. Anatomically, your olfactory bulb is unique. It is the only sense that has a direct hard line to the amygdala and the hippocampus, the centers for emotion and memory. It bypasses the logic filters of the brain entirely. This is why the smell of rain or a specific perfume can instantly transport you back 10 years in time. Here is the protocol. I want you to buy a specific essential oil or a candle. Peppermint, rosemary, or cedarwood works best. But it must be a scent you do not encounter anywhere else in your daily life. The rule is simple but strict. You are only allowed to smell this scent when you are in a state of deep work. The moment you stop working or take a break, you cap the bottle or blow out the candle. You are applying Pavlovian conditioning to your own biology. You are linking a chemical input to a behavioral output. After a week of doing this, the smell itself becomes the trigger. On days when you feel zero motivation and cannot force yourself to start, you don't need willpower. You simply open the bottle, inhale, and your brain neurochemically snaps into success mindset mode. Success mindset is not a state you force. It is the result of a perfectly designed system. Stop being a slave to your circumstances. Be the architect of your life. We have covered mindset, energy, resilience, and environment. Yet, one piece remains. This is the reason 99% of people fail after 1 month, even when they do everything right. It is called the grand integration. Tomorrow, on day 7, we reveal the final strategy. Comment architect below if you are committed. I'll see you at the finish line.